It's not like you're gonna be like, I actually called the boys from Indestructible back. Bring your bike back in today if you can. Bring it in tomorrow morning so I can get it up on the dyno. So we picked up 6 foot-pounds of torque.
Even more gold, dude. It's 35 degrees right now. We're gonna ride back to the warehouse. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another vlog. We're back showing you more El Diablo Lowrider ST. We're about to go head over to Champion and go pick it up. Yeah. We'll tell you why it was there, what was going on with that.
Look at all those fingerprints though, you can see so easily on it.
Yeah. So Matt's about to jump in an Uber. Me and Pat are gonna rip over there because I gotta get my crash bar looked at to see if they can sort that out for me. It may rain.
I think it's gonna rain. We're gonna end up riding some rain. These fair weather boys are gonna ride in some rain.
Luckily, some of us have the Odin rain gear.
I left mine at home because I didn't know I was picking up my bike. So I'm gonna be rolling in chucks and a sample jacket. So we'll see how weatherproof this is. It's not.
So you might see a Lowrider S El Diablo in the rain. Who knows? Follow along, like and subscribe, ring the bell, comment. Let's go. All right, so we just left to head over to Champion. It's starting to pour. So let's, I got Pat here with me now. But let's put on our Odin rain gear we have. All right, let's go. Let's head to Champion. It's like 45 degrees, raining, but let's go. Gotta get it done. Right by where we were at the warehouse. It's like it didn't even rain here yet. Back at Champion Cycle. The El Diablo is back here, so let's find out why it's back here.
So, the other night I was tuning another 2022 that we had done cam and some minor stuff too. And the new 21 to current model Harleys have a new diag system. The people in the industry just call it the red plug diag system. Red plug meaning the diag port is red. So if you're familiar with Harleys, there used to be a gray 4-pin on the older ones, then it went to a gray 6-pin on the newer ones. And then now the new ones, 21 to current, run a red diag port, which is completely different. It's actually a universal diag port that even the Jap bikes, the metric bikes, like every bike now is basically running this new style of plug. So I don't know what happened behind the scenes that they all smartened up and decided to run the same kind of tooling. Bottom line is, because it was a completely new software and a completely new computer system on these newer Harleys, 21 to current, even Dyno themselves were having problems figuring out how to get around the O2 sensor situation on these bikes. Back in the day, you could go into the O2 lambda area and you could play with this, with the required or requested values of air-fuel ratio, meaning, you know, factory bikes are generally requesting a stoic air-fuel ratio. Problem with the stoic air-fuel ratio is it'll run lean, it'll run hot, it's not great for the longevity of the motor. So that being said, and it's not really practical for the guy that wants to go out and have fun. So that being said, without getting around the closed looped area, you couldn't control and manipulate that. So with these newer red plugs, when Dyno released their PowerVision software, same as every other software, Harley's Pro Street Tuner, that junk the Harley dealer will sell you, all that type of stuff, you can't do nothing with that area. But now they've made a fix where PowerVision finally had a way around that red diag lambda closed looped area where we are allowed to go in and manipulate the values. Now, a year ago, 2021, when this first happened, as soon as we went into the Lambda area and we would make changes, you'd get an engine light. So for anybody watching this wondering, or you're a tuner or somebody was wondering, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why there's a random engine light for O2 sensors. You've changed your O2 sensors and the light is still on and you don't know why. Well, that's because if it's a red diag plug, in the early beginning, you couldn't change the Lambda values. But as a tuner, we're so used to doing it that we would do it as something you would do. But over time, PowerVision, DynoJet finally figured out how to fix the coding so that you could make changes to the Lambda area and not get a false engine light that wasn't even there for any good reason. So I actually called the boys from Indestructible back and I was like, hey, bring your bike back in today if you can, bring it in tomorrow morning so I can get it up on the dyno. Because now that I can manipulate the closed looped area, I can kind of make your idle a bit smoother, and that whole closed looped area, I'd like to retune it and just see what we can get more out of the bike. Plus the motor was broken in, so I figured let's get it up on the dyno, get some more feedback from the bike, try and manipulate and squeeze a little bit more out of it. And I mean, for those of you watching, I'm sure you appreciate this info, and we just thought we'd see what we can get out of it. So she came back and we got more.
Think we feel a difference on it?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of people will be like, oh, I don't even remember now.
Yeah.
I made X amount of horsepower more, X amount of torque more than what I'm used to. I'm gonna feel so much more power. It's gonna feel, but you don't always feel the power, because if the tuner is good enough, then the power is so linear that of course you're gonna feel it. But at the same time, 5 horsepower or 5 foot-pounds or 5 and 5, in the grand scheme of things, if it's tuned to perfection so that it's smooth, you might not even feel it, because it's so linear, so smooth that it's not like it's got a turbo, right? It's not like you're gonna be like, it doesn't do that. It's gonna be so smooth and linear that it's just gonna feel like a monster all the time. It's gonna be hard to differentiate 5 up or 5 down horsepower and torque. Right. So, technically, you could feel it because it is more, but in your case, I mean, no one's ridden the bike long enough since the build to even get used to the power it did have, right?
Yeah,
if a guy rode his bike for 2 years, he'd get tired of the power. The littlest thing he does, he feels the difference.
Right.
And then he gets tired of that, and then he does something, and so forth and so forth, right? Right. So, it's hard to say.
Yeah, because you're right, I wasn't on it long before I decided to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
But you were saying that Alan took it out for a quick rip to feel it too, right?
Alan took it out for about half an hour. I told this guy to go on a quick rip, and of course, in typical Alan fashion, he disappeared for half an hour.
Yeah.
And then he came back, and I was like, he pulled up in front of the door, he just shook his head like it was bad, and I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. He comes off the bike, and he's like, I effing love this thing. He's like, take it back before I buy one. Just take it. He's like, this bike is perfect in every way.
Yeah.
He's like, I need one of these, but I don't, but I do. He's like, just take it away. And he just walked away. So, I knew it was
That's
good.
what we like to hear.
Yeah, Alan is so picky.
Yeah.
So that's why he's the perfect guinea for these bikes. Because if he rides it and he says it's mint, it's mint.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, he'll be like, he's the guy for testing, because he's so picky, because he has his own, like his bike made 156 and like 170 foot-pounds. So
It's wild.
Yeah,
So what is this tuned to now?
I know we picked up torque, but what did we get?
So we picked up 6 foot-pounds of torque, and we lost 3 horsepower.
Right.
Now that being said, on any given day, dyno numbers could go up and down 5 horsepower based on humidity, heat, cool air, windy air, etc., etc. Right. So you're like within a 5 horsepower window really doesn't mean nothing. But to touch on another topic, it went down 3 horsepower but picked up 6 foot-pounds. So I, as a tuner, and you as a rider, shouldn't be worried about horsepower anyway. What you want is torque.
Right. Like, it looks pretty sick though, right?
You did a good bloody job.
Yeah, he did good.
I like that there's no crusty taping, because when some of these airbrush guys do a crusty job with their taping before they pinstripe, and you can tell. And it looks like he freehanded the pinstripe.
He did. He did for sure.
Sick. Because it's nice when you see like the imperfections.
Yeah, 100%. We were actually talking
it's
about
hand.
that.
It has to be.
It's like not a computer.
No,
It's
you
like
gotta get the
hand-drawn
imperfections.
stuff.
If you see it perfect, you're like, sticker, laser done. That's not the same. The only thing I can't seem to get is thrashing. But I heard Parts Canada was getting thrashing now.
They're through drag.
Yeah, but there's some bullshit with drag in Parts Canada
Oh, okay.
where not everything through drag can be purchased through Parts Canada. And sometimes the drag number won't cross-reference. I can usually get around it and get it, but there's so much red tape. It's so stupid. It's just America.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everything separate. It's the same shit.
Yeah, totally.
But I think it's... All right, boys.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it. Roll.
All right, it's 35 degrees right now. We're gonna ride back to the warehouse, drop off the El Diablo. You're gonna get to test it out again. This is like,
Let's go.
let's go. feel?
Oh, really good.
You can feel the torque more?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You almost did a wheelie?
Yeah, when I was going from first into second, I'm kind of used to just, from my Dyno, I can just crack the throttle when I go into second. And I did that with this, so you feel like you just lift it off the ground. So the torque's there for sure. It feels sick. It feels better than before. It's honestly, like Dan was saying, it's really smooth, but you can just feel the power everywhere. It's good. I'm stoked.
So there you are, guys. El Diablo got tuned again, and it's even better now. Thanks for checking out our YouTube. Like and subscribe, ring the bell. Plenty more content coming. Plenty more El Diablo content coming.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you think about the El Diablo.
How do you like the helmet with the bike now?
Even more gold, dude.
I know. Yeah, exactly. More gold. No, I'm stoked. I'm really happy with how the helmet turned out with the bike. Because another thing, just quick, it's so hard to match this paint, right? And there's been people out there that have done a pretty good job at it. So I'm pretty stoked on what Sean did with this. He didn't try to completely match it, but it definitely complements the bike for sure.
Let us know in the comments if you've seen a better looking El Diablo. This one's pretty dialed in.
My vote is no. This is the best one.
But if you've seen a better one, we'd love to see it.
Yeah, please let us know. All right, let's get this bike inside.
I gotta ride home. It's like, yeah, like I said, it's like 35 degrees right now. It's not warm.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my bike in here for a couple days, just because we're gonna get some rain. So I'm just gonna keep it here. I got my truck with me today. So, but after that, hopefully it's gonna warm up, and then you'll be seeing a lot more of these.
That's why we haven't been vlogging as much. We're in Canada. It's still cold here, so.
Fair weather riders, man. We just can't deal with it. We don't know what we're doing. This is our first bikes. It's what is it? Our first bikes. We have more, what did they say, money than common sense, and we're fair weather riders.
See, back in the day, even Dynojet themselves were having problems. Jesus.
He's gonna go yell at the people next door because they're screaming, "Hey, shut up! We're trying to vlog here."
You're good.
Where was I?